So let's go through some example problems for adding and subtracting complex numbers. And since we're adding here, we can essentially just ignore the parentheses in these. So we have 18 plus 4i, that's our first complex number. And we're adding our second complex number, minus 11 plus 23. If we were subtracting, we would have to distribute the negative. And in some sense, we're distributing the positive, but that doesn't change the signs. So distributing a negative when you're subtracting, that would flip the signs. And instead of writing plus negative 11, we could just write it as minus 11. It's really just your opinion there. And the main idea, remember, since we want to express this in the form a plus bi, where we have a real part and we'll add to that the imaginary part of the complex number, we essentially just want to focus on combining the real parts together and then combining the imaginary parts together. So we'll do 18 plus negative 11, or 18 minus 11, and then we'll do plus 4i plus 23i. So 18 minus 11, that is just 7. And we have 4 i's, and we're adding 23 more i's. So in total, we would have 27 i's. So 7 plus 27i would be our final answer here for adding these two complex numbers. And let's do a couple more examples. And again, the main idea, we're just going to combine the real parts together and then combine the imaginary parts together. Though this one's a little bit more complicated because we're subtracting, so we have to distribute that negative sign. So we get 70 plus 22i, and then we're subtracting 71 and 70i. Since we're subtracting the entire number, so you're subtracting the real part and you're subtracting the imaginary part. So from here, we just got to combine like terms. The real parts will be combined and the imaginary parts will be combined. So 70 minus 71, that's just negative 1. And 22i minus 70i, well, if we do 22 minus 70, that's going to give us minus 48i. So this will be our final answer when we're subtracting this complex number from this one. And we'll look at one final example here. So this one, we have 12 minus 23 plus 13i. So even though this doesn't have an imaginary number, it still is a complex number. Since all numbers are complex numbers, this just has an imaginary part of 0i. And we're subtracting another complex number from that. So since we're subtracting, we'll have to distribute the negative to both terms in the second complex number. So you get 12 minus 23, and we distribute it to the other term, and so we also get minus 13i. Since remember, you're just subtracting this entire number here. And from here, we combine our real parts, and we would combine our imaginary parts, but we really only have one of them since this first complex number has 0 i's in it. Now, combining 12 minus 23, that's going to be minus 11. And we just bring down the minus 13i, since that's the only imaginary part. So this right here will be our final answer when subtracting this complex number from this one.